BORTLE here at the 2019 Chaos Impact Regional with, whoa, I've heard you were playing some Spicy Goo today, right?
Yeah, I played a pile. Played 60 cards. There was some Orcust cards, some zombie cards.
60 card pile. Well, introduce yourself for those that don't know you, man.
I'm Kobe with Luxury Gaming. Hooray. We do tournaments and stuff online. You should check us out on Facebook and YouTube and everything. So I guess we can just get into it.
What do you call this deck, by the way?
Vendread pile, I guess.
Okay, and we finished decks too, right?
Yeah, we finished decks too. We lost to some very unfortunate super polys, and there can be only ones.
Hey, ban that card. All right, let's see what's up, man.
So God cards, you play this. Anytime you see these cards, and like if they resolve, you just win the game. But even if they don't resolve, you can probably still like make curious and then still do your play. The play actually just takes a really long time, but your opponent's not breaking the field. Zombie one of cards. So I know zombie cards weird. No one knows what these cards do. This card, when it's in the graveyard or on the field, you can banish it to play Zombie World from your deck. And then this guy, when you have a field spell on the field, in the standby phase, he comes back. And then if a zombie monster activates an effect, you can either negate the effect or banish a monster on the field at grave, non-targeting. So you do, like, you make Beatrice in your combo, and whenever you end, you still have a material under the Beatrice, so in the standby phase, you just send this, and then he comes out, and you have Zombie World up, so it's pretty cool. Like, 2 interruptions off of just Beatrice. Played shit all cards with it. Normally you would just play the Dragon, but I also play Beast, because this deck blinds second, weird. But you can Ritual Summon with Beast, and like you'll draw a card off of it. And Ritual Summons are just a neg in general, so you really just want to play as much advantageous cards as possible. And Dragon's really nice for playing going second. Played 3 Malicious. This card's really cool because it's just a bunch of RNG. You could send it off of Curious. You could randomly mill it. It helps you make Beatrice because your main combo piece is level 6, so you can just overlay this with it. And this also just helps you link climb into BORTLE Sword to kill your opponent. Played Vashuda, standard going second card. It's a dark worm. Don't play any worms other than this. So the effect to like banish and bounce a card came up a few times, but most of the time this was just for a dark worm. A lot of my opponents made me go first, game 1s. It was kind of sad. Played 3 Phantasme. It's like the best going second card. It's a dark, summons itself. This whole deck's dark. You just want to put 3 dark monsters on the field with different attributes and just hope your Curious gets you there. Filters all your hands. There's a lot of Garnets in this deck, so you really just go second, see this card. So weird zombie package. 1 unit zombie, core, this. Okay, so yeah.
Zombies too?
Yeah, these are all zombie cards. Weird, you would normally see people play like 2 of this and some solitaires, but when your solitaire gets impermed or your solitaire gets ashed, you probably lose that game. So I didn't want to risk that at all. I'd rather just have them not be able to play hand traps at all. So the 1 unit zombie was just like an extra Armageddonite, but you didn't want to clump on it because you still want to summon Armageddonite more than you want to summon this, so you never want to have to conflict with it. This is a level 1 combo piece. So when your hands are like really, really awkward, you have to make like 2 zombie Link monsters, and then you have to bring this guy back, turn it into Link Haribo, because he's level 1, and then summon another monster so you can make Curious, like really late in your combo. So these cards, Vendread cards, they're ritual monsters. This guy, he's kind of like Azathoth or Shockmaster, really. He's level 7. Whenever he's on the field once per turn, you can banish a Vendread card from your graveyard, call monster spell or trap, and for the rest of the turn, your opponent can't activate those cards or effects. So most of the time, like when you go first, you would do this, call monster effect, so you can't get Nibiru'd, you can't get ashed after this. Your opponent really has to stop like everything you do before you get to this. Once you get to this dude, and if he resolves, the game's over. Like, this dude's huge. Both of these monsters replace themselves too. This guy, when he leaves the field, he searches for a ritual monster and sends a Vendread card. And then when he leaves the field, he searches for a ritual spell and sends a Vendread card. You want to start your plays with this. His most important feature is his name, Vendread Slayer, because you play pre-prep, and the ritual spell specifically says his name, so you could search too. Pre-prep gets ashed a lot, but whatever. This guy's really important too because he's level 6. So you can make Beatrice with it. Most of the time you do make Curious Beatrice in the same turn. Orcust stuff, play a Gizmek, Symbol, Wand, 2 Nightmare, 3 Harp. I was playing 3 Nightmare, but then it kind of started clumping where you draw too many Orcust cards and you can't really play. Because these cards on their own just don't really get you anywhere because your deck isn't very like versatile at playing through various things when you're just doing Orcust stuff. The zombie stuff kind of acts as like a bait, so your opponent plays acting like all your zombie cards are relevant when they're really not, just this one.
Yeah.
This card was really good. I resulted quite a few times in a game, 60 cards.
Alrighty, Orcust stuff.
Yeah. Then Dangers, played a lot, 2 Nessies, 3 Moth, and then 2 Jack, 2 Snake, and a Bigfoot. It's 60 cards, so you want to see one of these in your opening hand every time, but you don't want to see too many, because then you'll start seeing ones with the same name. Even though it is 60 cards, you do still draw multiples. Yeah. But being you're going second, you're drawing 6, so 10 in a 60 card deck, your odds are like you have your best chance of drawing 1 without drawing multiples. Okay. This is like the best one still.
Did fucking Dennis get first?
Spell cards, played 3 Allure, 3 Ritual Spell. This one says Slayer on it, so you play 3 of it. It's also not once per turn. You can Ritual Summon a monster from your hand or graveyard by banishing zombies from your graveyard or attributing from your hand or field. Your combo does revolve around this to an extent, and then you just do the Orcust stuff after. Let me play Shadal Fusion, go in second, makes Winda. Winda link climbs into like Unicorn and stuff, and it replaces itself, so you have card discard off Unicorn. Sometimes if you just open a bunch of Shadal cards too, you could just end on Winda if your opponent makes you go first. Happened. 3 pre-prep, this is the best card in the deck by a mile. If you're gonna ash anything in this, it's this. If this card resolves and you can Ritual Summon, the game is just over. You get to play through so many hand traps. 1 of spells, there's a bunch. Foolish, Return, Babble, Zombie World, Rhoda, Card Destruction, Reborn, and another Ritual Spell. You wanted to play 4 Ritual Spells because that gives you, with your pre-preps, like 7. Odds are you'll see one of these with a way to get to a Ritual Monster. This one sends from deck, and it is once per turn. So you don't really want to clump on this. You never want to see 2 of it, so you just play 1. It's searchable throughout the combo. And then all these are pretty standard, I guess. This one comes up against Draco. Weird. These are all just blowout cards, though. And then the last card's Crescendo for the Orcust stuff. Extra deck. Okay, you play Link Haribo for like your awkward hands where you actually have to make this. I didn't want it to come up where this wasn't in my deck. It was out of this or Barricade Board Blocker, but Barricade Board only came up like once out of the whole tournament. The Monk, I summoned this maybe once or twice with Vishuda. Most of the time Vishuda just made Curious. Phoenix, this and IP are like your only generic Link 2s. So you do make these quite a bit. A lot of times you do in your combo with like IP, Appaloosa for 4 with the Orcust stuff and like Crescendo set, so you can IP into Unicorn. This card was really good. Yeah. 2 zombie links. Okay, so this, anytime a zombie monster special summon from the graveyard once per turn, you can draw a card. It also helps with your awkward hands when like your opponent hand traps you. If you could just make this, you can summon their hand trap back, and it turns it into a zombie. So you would draw a card off of that, and hopefully that'll like fix your hands. It also like they would have to imperm this because then they have a monster and they're stuck with that. It takes 2 zombie monsters to make. These both do. He adds back any Vendread card from your graveyard, and when he battles, he can send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. You don't really use the battle effect, but you do make this in your combo to add back Origin to make Beatrice. 2 Galatea and Ding for the Orca stuff. I didn't play long because the game really, you're not going to resolve that card.
Okay.
These came up. This card's broken. Unicorn, Curious, Standard, and then Curious gets you to all of your Orcust cards. It gets you to Malicious. Most of the time, you would send the Zombie World Girl. So then you could turn this into a zombie, so you could start making like these guys. Or if your hand's like really, really nutty, you would make Appaloosa with this.
That's what's up.
Link 4 is Appaloosa, BORTLE Sword.
What's that one?
BORTLE Sword
Oh
here.
God, yes.
Not even.
Not secret, no.
Hey,
we some
gets the
bums.
job done.
Yeah. Beatrice. Every time someone would see me like start to overlay my Slayer and Malicious, they'd be like, "What are you summoning?" Like Photon Bouncer or something. It was Beatrice.
What's up?
And then Window for the shit all stuff.
Very nice. All right. Go for it.
Okay, so we got Nibiru, Twin, Mine,
Whoa, you actually
evenly
played?
in this. So the side deck, I just played like all the bomb cards. I didn't want to play Super Poly because I didn't have space in the extra
Yeah,
deck.
it was very
I didn't
tight.
want to side like extra deck cards. This resolved a lot. 60 cards, you're not going to draw your side deck very often,
Yeah,
but
that is true.
when you do, you want them to be like the most impactful cards. So like this was for back row, this was for all your stuff, and dark, so it can make Curious with it.
God,
And that was
yes,
it.
and barely missing the top cut, right?
Yeah, X2 lost to, well, there can be only one, and some Super Polys, but
Sweet.
happens.
Shoutouts, man.
Shoutouts to Hani, shout out to Alan for bringing me. I don't know where he's at. Shout out to Luxury. I actually posted this deck in the group chat and they started laughing because it's fucking zombies. Like, who cares? And shout out to BORTLE for the deck profile.
Oh, God, yes.
That should be it.
All right, sweet. Well, I'll definitely plug Luxury Gaming in the description down below. Yeah, well,
Yes.
thanks again. BORTLE out.